I'd like to welcome you again to Coffee with the Candidates. I have Bruce Jensen here with me today. He is running for the Yankton County Commission. Welcome, Bruce.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, why don't you start by telling the viewing audience a little bit about yourself?
Okay, lived in Yankton all my life. I've served on the city and the county, total of 21 years, so I've been there and done that. I know what's coming usually, and if it's a surprise, I'll just work it out, because there's a lot of surprises on these boards. And I'm retired. I feel I got a lot of time. And I like to have things to do, which you do.
Absolutely.
You call up here a lot, and you just talk to the people when you have coffee and all that. I mean, people are real concerned out there now. A lot of things going on. So.
Yeah, you do bring a unique perspective, having served on both city and county already, which is not very usual. So, what is the most important role of a county commissioner?
Setting priorities in the county budget in order to control spending. Spending is a big thing, as you know. City, county, state, federal government all got spending problems. We spend the money that we don't have. We do things that we shouldn't have, but we want instead of need. That's a big difference between want and needs. Sometimes you need it, but most of the time there's certain groups that just want it. And that's the way they do it. And that's why we get into spending problems.
So when we take a look at the budget as a follow-up question, do you perceive that we have a revenue generating problem, that we're not creating enough money in the county, or do you view it as an expenditure problem of we're just spending too much money?
Well, first of all, we don't watch our budget close enough. Like I said, previous, we spend it on projects that we really don't need sometimes. Yeah, we need bridges. We have to have bridges, roads. That's a given. But I mean, other things, no. Like hiring a lot of employees, that'll kill you in a budget. Not putting money away for down the road that you know it's coming. Like we had bridges going on. Our bridges are in tough shape like everybody's. But we had $1.5 million put away, and the previous commission took that from Fleeg's Bridge and used it for the city for out on the road, and that's fine. We work together. But that money should have stayed in the bridge budget, because if you want federal funds, I've talked to Mr. Thune, you got to have line items. You got to show that you're really doing things that you're saying, and have money put away. But yes, and the city's got a bad reputation, and I'm saying that because the county's no better. We spend. Like for instance here now, we could have had a grocery store down here. And what I've heard is the land was valued at $300,000. And then a realtor came in, YAPG. Now this is what I heard. YAPG sold this to the realtor for $100,000. Is that right or is that wrong?
What happens when the city sells land that they own? It transfers through us. On that deal specifically, we were not a part of the negotiations. We did not even know those conversations were taking place, which is not uncommon when the city is
it is when it's taxpayers' money, it is.
Well, but it's not YAPG's role to be a part of that. But
I'm saying that $300,000. I mean, we're losing businesses here every day. We don't even have a mall. We don't have a movie theater. And we could have had a grocery store down here that would generate taxes, sales tax, everything, and nobody wants it. I mean, I know one of the grocery stores that's in Sioux Falls wanted to come into Yankton. Yankton didn't want it. And that land was, and look at the property now. How many millions of dollars buildings are sitting on there? What's the realtor trying to do? Sell it, make big bucks? That's money from our taxes.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. And you guys should have known about it if you didn't, because that's not transparency. That's behind closed doors, and I don't agree with that. It really burns my butt when they do that.
Well, I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm defending the city, so I would encourage you to have those conversations directly with the city if you have an issue with that specific land
I
deal.
talked to the city about how come you don't let businesses in. I've been here all my life. We're living here. A lot of businesses are owed money. It's been here forever. And why we didn't get businesses in here is because as long as I lived here, they didn't want to have the wages increased. We got to have wages increased. As you know, inflation is going to kill us. Next year, we're not even going to probably have eggs or chickens. It's bad. And taxes are going up. Taxes are the biggest thing that I hear of out and about right now. House taxes, look at our water bills, utility bills, car gas. I can go on and go on and go on. We're at a point that it's out of control, whether it be the city, county, school, I don't care. All the boards better sit back and reevaluate, because we're really in trouble. I believe that, and I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think so. It's all coming to do.
All right, so we're going to move on to the next question of what skills do you have that differentiates you from the other candidates?
I have skills because of the 21 years experience on the county and the city. I've seen it. I've been there. I know the politics of both sides, and I get along with the city fine. Just I don't like secrets, and the public don't like secrets either. They like to know what's going on, and they have that right because they're paying the bills. And I understand their concerns and their problems. Be able to do a better job helping them work together. As we work together, you can solve the problems. It's all communication, the word communication. Transparency. Don't lie to the public. Don't lie to one another. Don't have secret meetings back and forth. Can't do that. There's too much out there. And people are, like I said, people are hurting. And if not, they're going to be, because it's just a given.
So there have been a lot of conversations about zoning in Yankton County. Can you share some of your thoughts?
Sure. I'm a real pushy on zoning for the simple reason CAFOs are the biggest thing that's ever been in the county of Yankton. I don't care. People don't want to say that, but they do. I'm not for CAFOs, and I hope when we have interviews with the other candidates, you'll come out and ask them what they like CAFOs or not, because they don't want to commit. Nobody wants to commit anymore. And as far as zoning, yes, I think there's certain land areas that can be for hog farms. But the thing is with hog farms is they want to build in by the roads, hard surface roads. Well, you do that, then they'll tear them up when they go do their job with the pigs. We have to pay for that. We don't have enough money to pay for the roads now. So my point is, yeah, you can have them out north, wherever, I don't care, but don't ruin our roads. And also, people that would like to live out there is like, say, a hobby farm, or just to get out in the country. The excuse you always hear is, well, you're going to get a lot of smell, a lot of noise, farmers and stuff. That's not true. They know when they go out there and they buy the land and what it's going to be. They know what farming is. We're not stupid. And I just believe that as far as economic development goes, let's build houses out in the country. And we got that dumb 20-acre rule. that I'm trying to fight when I was in last time. 20 acres. I mean, you can't even get a bank loan on 20 acres. Bankers won't even give it to you because why should you have to buy 20 acres to put a little house up?
So do you think there should be a minimum acreage at all?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I checked around a lot of counties, and most of them are an acre or under. You don't need 20 acres to have a house on there. And like a father and son, a lot of the time the father wants the kids to come out and move in on the land to help farm. Well, you got to buy 20 acres. That's a bunch of bullcrap. It's all control. That's what it is. Few people think they can control everything, whether it be federal government, state, school board. I don't care what. You can't have that controlling interest all the time because you'll never get anything done. In essence, you'll have no money.
So what are your thoughts on a full or part-time county administrator?
Absolutely not. When I was on the commission, they wanted it. That's another cost that we cannot afford. Our department heads do a great job. That's their job. That's why they're getting paid. And that's how they got elected. Do a good job, or if they're not doing a good job, they won't be in next time. But no, that's just another part of government that we don't need, another layer that we got to answer to or whatever. It's just problems. No, we don't need a full-timer.
So we touched on this a little bit in one of your other questions, but management of the county budget is an integral part of the county's growth and development. What is the process that you would use to create a progressive yet responsible county budget?
Just like I said, the county budget you have to look at. Toward the end of the year when you're at the end, they always have extra money. And what are you going to do with that extra money? Pay a loan off that you might owe on a building like a highway department. When we were there, we owed on the highway department building, which we had to have. But we had the money. Instead of going out and spending it goofy, like most people do, or even in our home, we buy stuff we don't need. And then at that point, we could spend the money on things that we need, not things that we want. And like I said, needs and want are two different things. And as far as it goes, that's the best way to use our tax dollars because the people, in essence, everybody has their own program they want to run. They want this, they want that. You got to do what's best for the taxpayers and what's best for Yankton County. Because what I want maybe is not the majority who wants it. Why should I have my way? Take that money and put us into debt for whatever reason, whether it be on highway department, new trucks, new maintainers, we'll get by, lease it, rent them, whatever, hire it done. But to get it permanently, that's not going to go away. It's going to get worse every year. Because then they figure, well, I'll just add another employee or another truck. Can't do that. You got to and that's what I do. I'm very, very careful to vote on things that we don't need. And the day that we don't do that, that's why we're in trouble. And the whole country's in trouble because they don't care. They're just for themselves. A lot of them are.
So does your political party affiliation really matter as a county commissioner?
Absolutely not. Because if I run and I get in, I'm for all taxpayers. Whether I'm Democrat, Republican, Independent, it don't matter. I represent all the people of the majority, and when I say majority, whatever the majority is, they're paying the bills, we got to look at it really close and do it.
So please share your thoughts on the county's relationship with the city of Yankton.
Well, when I was on there, on the city and the county, we had really good relationship, and you have to work together. And, you know, like the building of the jail, safety center, all that. We had boards, people from business people that were on it. And another big thing is we had an election before we even went forward to see if people would help pay for it, because they're the ones that are going to pay for it, not me. And we had a election, and we did very well on it. And we had wonderful board members in the community, whether it be principals, doctors, lawyers. You know, we had people work together. And when you have people work together, you get results. And no, we have no problem about it. And the more we can work together, the better. Save tax dollars and be smarter how we're spending and what we're doing.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. The more you work together,
Oh yeah,
the more you're able to achieve.
You can't. Just like the sheriff and the police chief. When I was on the county, they had meetings once a week. Communication. This is what I said before. If you have no communication, you have nothing. They would have meetings about, you know, certain procedures, and what right and the left knew what they were doing, and you do it that way. And the court systems, and when we built a jail, what we built it, a lot of people wanted to. Some of the people of stature wanted it built out of town. No, because we had a lot of lawyers and the judges. They wanted it right here because you want the jail in with the court system. Otherwise, you got to transport them. There you go again. More money. You got to transport them from point A to point B. Now you just walk up to the courtroom from the jail. You don't have to go out in the elements or nothing. So yeah, it's, you know, we've done very well, and the city's done well, and the county's done well. Mm-hmm. And if you don't get along, it's your fault, because there's no excuse for that.
So the county's reputation around the state hasn't always been positive. What will you do to help Yankton County be viewed in a better light?
What we do as the county is our business. It's for our people. All counties are different. Like you go to Pierre, when I went to Pierre a number of times, the ag up there, they wanted to come in with a rule that could basically control our county, what we do with agriculture. And I'm not against agriculture. I want to stress that I am for the family farm, but not for hog farms, for big farms, no. And most farmers you're going to talk to is not for that, because it's their livelihood. And hog farmers, the big hog farmers, are there for one thing, to make money. I mean, that's the way it is. But the family farm, there's about approximately 532 family farms in Yankton County. And so they have to be diversified. They have to know what they're doing. And like I said, their big hog farmers kill the family farm. And the day we lose a family farm is the day we lose our agriculture, because it's that important in the community.
So from what I heard you say, would you say you believe in local control?
Absolutely. The more you get controlled by pure federal government, the more crap you got to go through. No, we're individuals. They don't pay our taxes. We pay them. And what we say should be the county say. The county's the people.
So at times you may be on the minority side of a vote that's passed by the majority. How will you continue to work with your fellow commissioners, and maybe you have examples of how you've done that in the past, to support an initiative that you voted against but was passed by the majority?
I'll give you an example. Hog farms, big deal. I'm against it, and most of the commissioners that were on there are on there now are for it. And if you're for it, you got to look at couple reasons why you shouldn't be for it, and I'd bring those up. Is you don't want to ruin the quality of life that Yankton County has, and the health reasons, the water, sickness. I mean, there's a ton of things that hog confinements aren't good in a populated area. You know, like I said, up north, way up north, oh, that's fine. But then you got infrastructure, you got a lot of expenses. No, I'll look at every issue, and I have over all the years, whether it be city or county. But I listen to the people, and they're going to tell you. When I go out for coffee, I get a lot of questions. That's fine, because that's what I'm elected for, and it's just the way it is. I think the ones that are in the minority better look and see what the majority wants, because majority should rule. It always should rule. It don't always though, because there's certain people that got to have their own way, and that's what I said.
So during this interview, you've mentioned communication a couple of times. What is the best way for people outside of or inside of Yankton County to be communicating with you? How do they share their ideas with you?
I tell you, got a real big problem when I was on the commission. We had open meetings. These last commissioners, people wanted to talk. It's public meetings. That's where you get a lot of input. And when the commissioner sits there and says, sit down and shut up, no. You got a right as a public meeting. The only right you don't have transparency is on personnel. You can't say anything about that, or litigation. But everything else that the county does should be upfront out of the people and say what they're going to do. Transparency, there you go again. Communication, there you go again. That's just the way it is. And if you don't do it, that's where you get in trouble. And the people have a right to know what's going on. I'm sorry. You want open government. And those meetings you have, they have a right to speak. When you tell them that they don't, I remember one time I was on the agenda that wasn't on the commission, it was on zoning, and I wanted to get on the agenda, so you have to have them on that Wednesday before Tuesday. So I called and got on it, and I had stated a reason why and about how long it would take, so I put all that down. Then lo and behold, down the road I got a call from the chairman and said, well, Bruce, I took you off the agenda. I says, why? You don't have that right. I got it in right, I got it done right, and you tell me I don't have a right to get to speak? And I said, oh, heck with you, then I won't then. And I was ticked. And that's the way a lot of people have been treated in meetings. They'll tell them, sit down and shut up. I don't have time to talk about this. You weren't on the agenda. And I know you have to have rules, but if a person wants to talk to you about something publicly, you have a obligation to listen to them. Because if they don't get to talk what they want, that's where you have your problems. There you go again. It's the way it is.
So is there anything else you wanted to add today that maybe wasn't a part of the previously asked questions?
All I'm saying is, in the end here, I would like to say hog farms is the biggest problem we got, and taxes. Our house taxes, look at our house taxes, how they've gone up. Mine has gone up. Yours has gone up. And they're a year behind. So next year they're going to get, and like opt-outs, like school, taxes. That opt-out's good for 5 years. Are they going to take that off? Or they got this, sunset clause in there that once it's paid, they drop it if they don't. Taxes they leave on forever and ever and ever. they build on taxes. And people are going to be real surprised next year on what taxes are going to be. They're going to be bad. And Yankton is not a rich town by any means. We're not even middle class. Most of them aren't. Just like on Fox News the other day, I heard that 65% of all Americans in the United States are living right at poverty and check. They don't even have $500 in a savings account. And that scares me. And we're doing all this building, raising all these taxes, fees, new water slide we put in. We didn't need to, I'm sorry, I voted against it because we didn't need it. We needed a pool, don't get me wrong. But when you have to start upping the fees already, when it hasn't even been running for a year, that's terrible. And as far as subsidizing it goes, I'll tell you right now, for as big as facility we have, it'll be close to $1 million a year. You watch, and who's going to pay for that? Us taxpayers are going to pay for that because they're going to have running. You know that as well. And why build a big monstrosity like that if you're not going to be able to support it? And if they have a raise already, they're not going to be able to support it. They wouldn't have raised it. So we just got a lot of stuff ahead of us. And like I said, the county and the city, school boards better look at their budgets coming up, because we're going to be in a world of hurt. People don't have the money to spend all this money on taxes. And that's the biggest problem we've got right now is hog farms, taxes. Taxes, taxes, taxes. I can't drill that in any harder because the money's not going to be there. We don't have that, like for instance, we got a lot of raises. A lot of people got pretty good raises, like Walmart and stuff. But when you look at all the costs, car gas, utilities, water, thing is, inflation is taking that raise away. Whatever they got, they're paying them more than that even. And inflation is a dirty word as far as I'm concerned, because it's going to take away all your gains. So what good is it? People aren't going to get ahead. They're going to go behind.
Well, Bruce, thank you for joining us here today for
Thank
Coffee
you.
with the Candidates. Appreciate you sharing your views on our questions. And I do want to remind the listeners that absentee voting is currently available down at the County Commission chambers during regular business hours. And if you are choosing to wait and vote on June 7th, the Yankton County voting centers are Yankton City Hall, Yankton Fire Station number 2, Gayville Community Center, Mayfield Store, Lesterville Fire Hall, and Lewis and Clark Recreation Area. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you very much.